Hello, sports fans. It's me, Sportsman Z, Bob Zolke. And today I am going to show you how to add a custom player to any team in Strat-O-Matic baseball. Like making up your own player. I've done it several times, and there are, of course, certain rules that have to be followed that are in accordance with the way Strat-O-Matic makes their cards. So, since I'm just doing I'll really only be doing one player today, and the player that I'm choosing to do is the 1985 Bill Swift. And there's his card right there. And obviously, I'm not going to put him on the 85 Mariners because I already have the 85 Mariners. So anyway, there's his card. And that is essentially what you want to transfer to a to a computer version that he can play on whatever team. And actually, I'm going to put him on the 1968 Washington Senators. And that brings up the first rule in making a player. You cannot make a player from the from any free agent list. The player has to be made within the context of an existing team in your game. So what you do is you go up here and you go to player, and you go to enter player card. Now I've never done create a fringe player because to me that just means you're creating, a player with 5 at bats or a pitcher with 2 innings pitched or something like that. And what I want to do is make an actual player that could play on the team. So I go to enter player card, and it'll ask you batter, pitcher, or cancel. And in this particular case, we're going to do a pitcher, and you'll see in a minute why I chose to do a pitcher for the demo. So you've got the first screen is just his general statistics, and his name, obviously. So we type in Bill, and then, hold on, got a space in there I didn't want. Okay, Bill, and then Swift, and another thing is the year. You have to put in a year of a team or of a league that you have. Now we're adding him to the 1968 Washington Senators, and so obviously I have the 1968 American League, so I'm just going to type in 1968. But if, for instance, you were to just go to any team and want to make the card just to make the card, but you didn't have the set for that year, it would probably end up giving you an error, and you wouldn't be able to make the player. So team abbreviation, we're going to say WAA for Washington of the American League. Now I refer to the front of the card for the statistics. He was 6-10 that year, and his ERA was 4.77, and he had it doesn't say how many starts here, but he did have 121 innings. So I'm going to say that he probably had about 24 starts, maybe 28. Let's just say 28 starts. Saves, I'm going to assume he didn't have any. This is the 1985 card, so it is missing a lot of the information on the front of the card that the later cards do have. For instance, you go to the 2017 set, you're going to see that information. You're going to see how many starts, how many saves. You see a lot more information on the front of the cards than you do in the earlier stock card sets, like the 1985. So anyway, innings, he pitched 121. he allowed 131 hits. He walked 48, and he struck out 55, and he allowed 8 home runs. And his versus lefty percentage is 55% because he was a lefty. So there's his main page information right there. Then you've got other ratings. He was a righty. His endurance per start was 5. And again, this information is on the card. His relief endurance was 4. And he was not rated a closer, and I don't know if that's only on like maybe the later cards and wasn't on the earlier ones. His hold, yeah, this is an earlier version, so it doesn't have the hold. I'm just going to keep it at 0 for the purposes of this demonstration, but obviously if you had the newer cards, it would give you all of this information, and you would just type it in. His N rating is no. It's yes or no. His asterisk rating, in other words, can he start on 3 days rest? And the answer is no. His fielding, he is a let's see, an E12 1, but really defensively he's a 2. His E rating is 12. Balk, they don't have the balk rating, so I'll just keep what's here. It doesn't look like they even have the wild pitch rating on these earlier cards. And again, these are things that you would see on the newer cards, and you would just type in what they say. Steal information, all that, we're going to keep the same. Bunt, C, all of that, because it's offensive information. And he was an American League pitcher, so whatever is there, I guess we'll go with that. So now here's where you start to type in the card itself. And this is starting with the versus lefty 4 column. And you can see right here they've got line out percentage. Really, if for any line where he actually has a line out listed, you could just leave this, even with the percentage sign. I think it'll take that. But whenever there's a line out, I just type in, I just eliminate the percentage sign and just type in whatever position he allowed a line out to. But at his 4-2, he actually has a ground ball shortstop X. So, and really you can type that pretty much in the way that it looks on the card. Ground ball, then parentheses, shortstop, X. Now this brings up another point, and this is why I'm doing a pitcher instead of a batter. And that's because the pitchers do have to have X's for X ratings or X results for every player on the diamond. And they generally have 2 shortstop X's and 2 second base X's. So that's important to remember. If you're doing it from another card, you wouldn't really have to remember it because you would have the information on the card and you're just transferring it. But if you were to make up your own pitcher or your own, like a fictitious pitcher, you would have to remember that you not only have to have an X result for every player on the diamond, but you have to have 2 for the shortstop and 2 for the second baseman, as well, I believe, on each side of the pitcher's card. So the next one is ground ball to the pitcher, X. And the next one is ground ball third base, X. And the next one is a strikeout, and this is a strikeout with the dot after it, which is his inning of weakness, tiredness rating. And on the computer, what you would do is give that, and you can see up along the top here, it kind of gives you a little reading of what it, how it should be. But anyway, I believe that for a strikeout that would become a single. Oh, first of all, I have to spell strikeout right. For a strikeout that would become a single after his inning of weakness, what you want to do is put in this bullet rating, which is really the @ sign after the result, and then that denotes that once he hits his inning of weakness, that strikeout becomes a single, double, asterisk. So then the next thing is a walk, and you just type in walk. And again, I need to spell it correctly. And that's another point too. If you enter any of these things incorrectly according to the system, once you say this is okay, this is the player I want, it's going to tell you that there's an error, and it'll direct you to where you made the error and what has to be changed. So anyway, the next one is a ground ball second base X. And then the one after that is a double to left field. And with the field that the double was hit to in parentheses. And then the next one is a 111, and you type that as TR space 1 with a whatever, and then the double. I can't remember what that is called. In my old age, I am just really getting bad. But anyway, double or a 111, double 2 to 20. Okay. And then the next one is a home run 1 to 10, and it's N home run because only a person with normal power would hit the home run is what that's denoting. So N home run 1 to 10, and then triple 11 to 20. And then the 11th spot is a ground ball to the first baseman X. And then the last one is a ground ball pitcher B, and again with the inning of weakness. Ground ball pitcher, and then capital B, and then the @ sign, which denotes that would be a single, double, asterisk if he were to be tired and still pitching. So now at the top of the second column, this is the 5 column now that we're in, and he has a ground ball pitcher B, just a regular ground ball pitcher B. Fly ball left field X, and the X chart ones have to be, everything needs to be in capital letters. The ground ball is capital GB, and the fly ball is capital Fly. And then left field X. And then fly ball center field X. And then ground ball second base C would be typed like that. And then fly ball right field B. And then ground ball shortstop X. You remember me telling you that you'll get 2 X's for the shortstop, and I believe the second baseman as well. Then a pop out to first base. And this has also got the bullet sign, past the inning of weakness. So he really gets his butt handed to him if he's past his inning of weakness, apparently. And then fly ball center field C. And then fly ball left field B, and then fly ball right field X, and then fly ball right field B. And then we go to the 6th column for versus lefties, and at the top rating there is fly ball right field B, and then ground ball first base C, and then line out to second base, and this has a diamond next to it, which is an infield single. And for an infield single, as far as typing it into the computer, you're looking for the greater than sign. So let me see if I can find that on the computer. Let's see. I don't right now. Under pressure here, I don't see it. Well, anyway, you would want to find that and type it in. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. I got it. So yeah, so type that, and then line out to second base. So what that means is if he was pitching in a ballpark where there was an infield single chance, well, really, I mean, in the advanced games and in the newer versions, the ballpark rating does have is rated for singles and home runs. So if he were pitching in the advanced version in whatever ballpark, and let's say the single was 1 to 10, then if you came up with that rating, the computer would roll its dice in the background or whatever, or pick a card, or however it is that the computer would do it, and determine whether 1 to 10 came up or whether it was 11 to 20. 11 to 20, it would still be a line out, and 1 to 10, it would be a ballpark single. So on 5, we have fly ball center field B. And then on 6, we have a walk. And then on 7, we have a single 1 asterisk, denoting that that the runners can only go 1 base. 1 to 16, and then line out to second base, 17 to 20. And then 3-8 is just a single to center field with no asterisks, this is no nothing. So runners can advance at their own risk on that. And then a double with 2 asterisks in the next one, 1 to 5, and then single, double asterisk, 6 to 20. And then 310 is a catcher's card X. Catch X is how it would be typed into the computer. And then a single to right field, and again you would go, it's a ballpark single. So you would go single to right field. So there was only, and now we're in the last shot, and this is actually a ballpark home run. So a player with normal power and going by the ballpark home run rating. So the computer would determine whether there was really a home run based on the ballpark on that particular roll. And as you can see, there wasn't a second base X. There was only 1, so I guess it's only the shortstop that has 2. I knew it was either both or the shortstop, but you get the point. the shortstop gets so many chances that the pitcher's cards do have 2x chances for the shortstop, which shows just how important he is. Now, I'm not going to type in the other side of the card because, as I said, it just says line out percentage and it'll accept that. So we're going to say okay just to show you what the card looks like, at least for the versus left-handed batter side. Okay, so now it says percentage versus left invalid. Okay, so I guess I have to go back to the other ratings, or no, the basic information. Go back to the basic information page. Okay, I had something else typed in there. You just want 55. That's all you want. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe you want 0.55. So yeah, so if it's 55%, you want 0.55. Now you say okay, and so now Bill Swift is on the 1968 Washington Senators. You can see right there he is where the pointer is, and we'll bring up his card. And again, you can see over here on the right-hand side that I didn't update. It just has the line out for everything. So everything is a line out. And you could play with the card like this if you wanted to, but it's unrealistic. But you can see here how it took all the changes, and so this is actually, and I don't know if you can really see that because I had to turn off the light, but you can see pretty much that that's what the card looks like. And so that's how you would make the picture. And again, I showed you the picture because of the fact that they do have the X results and a batter doesn't. So for the batter, it's basically everything is the same as I did for the hits and for the fly balls and the routine ground balls that didn't have X results. Everything is the same pretty much for the batters. So I just wanted to show you that. And so there, that's how you make a player. And like I said, I've done it several times because I have I've made countless custom players. I've made myself a number of times even and put myself on teams, which is always kind of fun. Especially when you send off to Strat and you have your own personalized cards made, and then they send it back, and then you can type it in and put it on whatever team you want to put it on. So, I just wanted to show you guys that in case there was anybody out there that was wondering, how do I do this? Is this even something that I want to think about? Now, it would take a long time to put in an entire team. It's usually, you have a team and you want to put in some players. But I think one year I had like a whole major league team that would play, and then I had a minor leagues besides that. And the minor leagues, like some of these games that you would see like out of the park, they have like fictional players in their minor leagues that you can bring up. Whatever, when you believe they're ready to be brought up. So I would use, as a boilerplate, I would use cards of other players from the past, but I would just give them new names and, make up new players. So, but that was years ago. And it takes, like I said, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to do that. But if you just want to add like a player here or a player there, it's a very good good feature that Strat has in their baseball game. And as we were discussing last night, when Dave Gardner was playing one of his hockey games, a Stanley Cup Finals game between the Blues and the Bruins, we were discussing the fact that Strat-O-Matic puts everything into the baseball. Like, you can make your own player in the baseball game. You can't make your own player in any of the others that I know of. The only way to do that in hockey and in football is I think you can take any stock player that's in the game and you can rename the player. I think you can do that. But that's the only way. You can't like custom make the player to be the way you would want them to be. You can only change their name, and the computer will do that. But that's the only feature that Strat-O-Matic allows. That's the only way that this feature even exists for other games. But in this game, you can actually specifically make your own player the way you want to make them, which is kind of cool. Because again, Strat-O-Matic puts all of their effort really into their baseball game, or most of their effort into their baseball game, and the other ones kind of fall by the wayside, I think. So anyway, that's how to make a player, how to make a custom player for any of your teams. Again, here's my contact information. There's Twitter, #4 Strat-Fanatic. There's Instagram, SportsmanZ, if you want to contact me. And there's my email below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. Leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of the video. Was it helpful? Was it something you were thinking of doing and you just never really either got the time or just didn't think you were really confident in how to do it? I guess for right now, that's it. And this is Sportsman Z, Bob Zolke, signing off.